Hello, friends, and welcome back to another single-serving adventure from Queen's Court Games. I'm Aubrey, and tonight we are continuing our journey into the world of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We'll be playing Eat Your Young, a scenario for the Buffy the Vampire Slayer TTRPG, written by me. And you can find out more information about the Buffy the Vampire Slayer or the TTRPG or any of that stuff by checking out our show notes. Now, while this isn't a horror scenario per se, there are some topics that certain viewers might find uncomfortable or objectionable. You can get a list of all of that stuff in the show notes down below. And the cast has been briefed on these topics and has QCG's safety tools at hand. But make sure you keep yourself safe and take breaks if you need them. Now that is all settled, let's meet our amazing cast for this evening. First up, we have most likely to draw occult symbols into their latte. It's Saffron.
Hello!
Next up, most likely to make a deal with a demon so they never have to sleep again. We have Dusty.
I've embraced it at this point.
Why not? And then next, most likely to realize the theater professor is a witch. It's Jen.
Hello!
And lastly, but not leastly, most likely to kiss a vampire, it's QCG's resident art czar and queen of the court, Fee.
That's me, Buffy the Vampire Layer.
Now that the cast has been introduced, let me tell you a story. Well, last session was interesting. Let's call it. We met up for the cast and everything. Our Scoopies met up for dinner. They met up with an old friend. They started poking around. They got some names. I believe it was Alice McClay was the name you all picked up of a possible witch was relatively near one of the dead slayers and could quite possibly be involved. And Catriona has arrived back with Gideon Post. And I believe one of the last things that happened before we left things off last time was Jen in November sharing a very emotional moment.
Just a conversation. I don't know what the
Conversation.
talking.
It's make up, make out,
exes.
you know.
It's talking. It's fine.
Talking with your mouth, very close to someone else's mouth.
That's how you talk, Aubrey. How else do you talk?
Sign language?
There are other lips that you
Oh,
can
that's
use.
fair.
Text.
So
Text to
yeah,
speech.
you text to speech. But yes, that's where we find ourselves. Currently, Jen has November pinned up against the screen door of the balcony of Catriona's condo. In a very furious conversation, as you in the background watch Catriona's very familiar car pull into the parking lot and park, and two people get out of it.
I don't see this. There's no possible way for me to see this.
Yeah, November is
and
more likely to see this.
I don't think November can see it either, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I'm also kind of in the moment. You know, a little bit distracted.
For some reason.
To paint a scene on the inside of the room, I have put music to drown out the conversation, and has slowly just gotten louder and louder and louder and louder, but hasn't been able to cut off. So there's just some like really good peak early 2000s emo rock playing, followed by like a ska. It's like my playlist on shuffle, so that's what's just going. And I look at Ari's like, those. So that looks like do we tell them that's Catriana's car? Because then they'll know we're looking at them.
I think, I mean, they've basically been shouting. I'm fairly certain they know that we've heard. and I will be giving them shit for it for the next 3 years. In the meantime, perhaps we should go and meet this Mr. Post and let them have their little makeout session.
That's such a good idea. I'm gonna leave the music playing, and we should just slam the door when we leave, so it surprises them.
Yeah, we're gonna go out and meet Catriona and Gideon, and we will leave the two lovebirds to their
Canoodling.
I was gonna say make out, but
Yeah, that too. Well, so yeah, and you said you closed the door loudly on the way out.
Yes, absolutely, I do. I slam the door, so it breaks the barrier of the music playing.
Well, we can figure out if they notice too much of that in just a second. We're gonna continue with the other half of this group as you all make your way down to the parking lot, and you see the very familiar Catriona, sort of dressed a little bit more casually today, get out of the car, and then out of the other side of the car, a man who looks to be roughly Catriona's age. He is wearing sort of it's like 3/4 of a suit. He's got the jacket thrown over his arm, and under one of his arms he has a box, and he and Catriona are discussing something about some sort of artifact from the 14th century France.
of course they are.
Yeah, they're nerds. And Catriona will spot you, Ari and Paolo, and just say, "Well, I'm glad you're here. Gideon, this is Ari, one of my slayers, and this is Paolo."
Hey,
One of
I know
the
all about
group.
you.
And he nods. He was like, Did Kat say much about our time at uni then?" And Catriona goes, "No, I didn't."
Oh, but do tell.
Gideon
wanna
sort
know.
of just laughs and just shakes his head and just went, We went to Oxford together.
Of course it was Oxford.
Of course. But this one kept getting in trouble. There was kind of a reason why she was stuck on artifact duty, whereas Catriona just gives
Oh,
a bit
do
of
elaborate.
Yes, please spend a lot of time telling us about this so we can spend more time out here, please.
Yeah, sure, yeah. I mean, Catriana's like, we can do that later. You've just been flying for like 4 hours. I'm sure you want to well, you actually probably don't want to sit down right now, but sure, you need a drink.
You know, I like him already.
Just a heads up. We may be walking into some awkward tension.
Is everything all right?
I think so.
They're making out. Oh.
Well, I did. Things are getting probably better for a little bit, I think.
Catriona
We're trying to
will
be
nod.
super casual about
It's
this.
either going to be really, really bad or really, really like good, but in like that kind of gross but cute way.
Catriona will nod. Super casual.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad. Quite possibly won't have to deal with 2 brooding college students for a little bit.
Mhm. We do.
I mean,
have
Jim
some
will be a
new info
little less
as well.
broody. New info is also very good.
Yeah.
Said Gideon brought some of Natalie's things, the first Slayer who died.
Oh.
So
Okay.
maybe there's something in there that can help us and get some answers. Oh yeah, this is in my notes. If just for fun, and we continue this lovely bit, if this was a TV show or a movie, and we were casting, it would be very Colin Farrell post like 2010.
Okay, shoot him up.
And Katrina starts leading the way towards the condo. And that's when we'll jump back inside and see how the lovebirds are doing.
I think a slammed door is probably enough to just have a little bit of a start and kind of turn and look in.
Yeah, but I think the important question is, once we see that they're gone, what happens then?
Oh,
You got a couple of minutes to figure that out.
Yeah. Because, if there's any desire to keep talking,
there's not.
That's great, fantastic, good, because that's not where I'm at either. So we can either go inside and then pretend like everything's fine and everything's totally normal, and just be waiting for folks when they return, or we stay here for a minute or two.
Are you like articulating this aloud in character?
Probably, yeah. Because on the one hand, I was like, no, I think this is like all internal. I was like, no, I think, yeah, I think this is definitely something I'm saying, and not super eloquently, so just as awkwardly as it's coming out of my mouth now. So,
yeah, I mean, wait, okay. They probably went to get Gideon.
Yeah. That tracks. Yeah.
So we probably shouldn't leave. We should stay here and
but here, like outside, or like, do you want to go?
We should go inside.
Go in
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll just kind of like reach around November then to like open the door, and like it slides really easily, so just like grab the door handle and then just like slide it open behind them. Just like not breaking like the eye contact, just kind of like feeling around, grabbing and opening it.
Yeah, I'll probably lean in and kiss Jen again.
Yeah. Just quick, little hot, little passionate, and then a quick pull away, and trying to like recompose and get the flush out of the faces, and yeah. And then inside, I'll just kind of like gesture behind him and say, after you.
Yeah. Go maybe get let me get some water.
Water sounds great. Sounds great.
Well,
meanwhile, I am complimenting Bridget on the on her little shop cat.
I mean, you're nowhere near the shop anymore. But this is Catriona's cat.
It's Catriona's cat, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's escaped on purpose.
Catriona's cat is one of those like
cats.
indoor out. Yeah, they're indoor outdoor.
Yep. It's Bridget's indoor outdoor shop cat.
Yeah. So you all who's leading the charge back into Catriona's condo?
I'd say I'm staying a little bit back, but focusing conversation, so we have to purposefully slow down.
Okay.
And you know, a funny thing, I heard about like France in the 14th century. Did you know it was really stinky?
Everywhere.
Did you find that in any of your studies? Yeah, but France especially. You know why? They're experimenting with all these cheeses.
France does have stinky cheeses.
Mhm. I
And
bet you didn't
we
find
all
that in your
know that
studies.
bathing wasn't incredibly common either, as well. It would be once a week kind of thing. They focused more on perfumes and things like that, thinking they were
Right, to cover up the stench instead of eliminate it.
Yeah, exactly.
And plus the chamber pots.
Those two.
Did you find any cheese relics?
What is a cheese relic?
I was about to ask the same thing. Is it a relic?
Let's all think about it aloud.
Really
Is it
old
while we're
cheese that
talking.
is a relic, or is it something
Or
to
is
do
it-
with cheese that is like, is it a
or
tool?
cheese
cutting?
making?
Ooh.
I think it's up for interpretation. Do you think they tried to make magic cheese? Do we make magic cheese now?
That
Is there a
sounds mildly
supernatural
questionable.
pizzeria?
The
I'm
pizza
saying
is
this very
surprisingly
loudly
addictive.
down the hallway.
Yeah.
So they know we're coming.
Yeah, no, you hear this cheese conversation as the door opens, and Ari leads the way, followed by Catriona, a man you don't recognize, but you're guessing is Gideon, and Paolo.
I have a very important question, which is, are either or both of them blushing?
I mean,
That's what the cold water's for.
Yeah.
It's
That's
not
what
for
the cold water is
drinking.
for.
That's just gotta.
So
Quick,
we're
you
just
know.
walking
Your
in
face
on the
looks
both
wet.
of you wet.
No. At this point, I'm just propped up in my normal position on Catriona's counter, with a glass of water, just waiting.
And I'm standing like kind of just in the kitchen, maybe just like, oh yeah, we're not anywhere near each other, just
Yeah.
Space
Exactly.
orgies.
We look super normal, definitely not awkward or strange, or flustered in any way, shape, or form. Totally natural.
So cash.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Super cash. Yeah.
Yeah, and and Katrina goes, Gideon, that is Jen, and that is November. Jen is the other Slayer I watch over, and November is a promising occultist. And Gideon will wave, sort of, kind of awkwardly, because he's got the coat over one arm and the box under the other, and just sort of being like, "It's wonderful to meet you. I wish we could be meeting under better circumstances, but it is what it is."
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I didn't get to know Natalie very long, only about a year, so. But it's still tragic, no matter what. And he will put the box of Natalie's things on sort of like Katrina's sort of like dining room table that's you never eat at. It's always covered in books and things and weapons. So
I'm gonna immediately start. Actually, I'm not. That's my Saffron, the player, interest in investigation. I was gonna say, as November was gonna be like, what's this guy's deal? But I think there's actually some other. I'm a little bit distracted, so.
fair.
Yeah, I'm more focused.
Why would you be distracted? Everything is super normal,
Yeah.
totally not weird at all.
Exactly.
Instead of trying to figure out if he's hiding something, I'm like trying to act normal.
Yeah, and Katrina goes, I'll put the kettle on. Just make yourself comfortable. And goes in to start the sort of the British tea making ritual.
I'm gonna make myself at home on the couch.
Yeah, there's kind of this like weird, awkward moment where like nobody's saying anything, and like I can't decide if it's because like people are just unsure of what to say, or like if this was always going to happen, but like I think it's made worse by like the fact that like I'm kind of in a slightly, distracted state. So I'm gonna just try and fill the air with anything, I guess. And I say, so, Gideon, how was your flight?
Cramped as they usually are.
You didn't pay for extra legroom, huh?
Sadly, the Watchers Council is not that well off anymore.
Perhaps the Watchers Council should invest in like one of the airline credit cards.
You'd think that'd
Or
be
a
a
group
really
PayPal.
good idea.
Yeah, group PayPals. Have you heard about those? They're great. Highly recommend.
I will, if we ever form a Watchers Council again, I will bring it under advisement.
I mean, there's certainly enough Slayers to warrant one.
There certainly is. And as far as I know, there's something going on at one of the old buildings in England, but no one's really returned my calls.
Which building?
Don't remember. It's well, the Watchers eventually they bought a castle, I think, in Ireland at one point.
Of course,
I think it might
they
be
did.
there. Of course. The Watchers own several. The Watchers Council owns several castles all around England, Ireland, and Scotland.
But not extra
They-
legroom.
Apparently, yeah. I had to pay for my own ticket, but it's worth it in the end if I can help you all figure out what's going on.
That seems odd, but okay.
Are there no other Watchers and Slayers in the country who can help you out or help us out? Is there really no?
We are very spread thin. With if you imagine there are. I'm not even going to do the math about how many people there are in the world and however many possible potential Slayers. I know there may be 10 Watchers in the entire United States, and 2 of them are in this room.
Is that
wild.
before or after they got, like, our numbers have been dwindling because people have been getting murdered?
As far as I know, any of the other girls didn't have Watchers. Or if they did, I can't find any information about them.
But they were Slayers.
I'm operating under the assumption that yes, they were.
Given the pattern, I imagine.
Yes.
Can you be a Slayer without having a Watcher? That feels kind of like... doesn't feel
Yeah,
right.
her name is Buffy Summers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was.
I mean, I imagine it's less efficient, but
I mean, Slayers teach each other what to do. I think mainly a lot of Watchers exist to sort of help their Slayers acclimate to their new lives and help them with research. And if we had the resources or the manpower, I'm sure we would try to recruit more, but currently...
Well, anything you have to tell us can help.
I wish I knew more. I hadn't actually heard too much about the others until Katrina called me, and I started looking into them because what I remember of the night it all happened was Natalie went to a concert. She did not return my phone calls, and then the next day, I hesitate to say that it was normal that she did not return my phone calls, but she was a college student and she was having fun.
Also, who calls anymore? Why don't you just text?
That's fair, but she wasn't replying to those either.
All right, well.
I've started with the texting and then escalated to calling her phone.
We should put trackers in our slayers.
I'm pretty sure that the Watchers Council considered that at one point.
Not enough money, too busy buying castles.
Yeah, I mean, they've never been that big on technology. I did hear there was a group that was really looking into that, some sort of weird military unit.
Didn't work out, I imagine.
I mean, if it had worked, a lot of those units you're not supposed to know they exist, so it's kind of hard to tell if it did work out. Because if it did work out, would we probably not hear about it? I don't know. Speculation. But yes, I have a box of Natalie's things. I have some of her journals, and a few other things. Kat mentioned that some of you can do magic. I was never all that gifted myself.
I will go over and
Yeah.
look at the box.
Mhm. In the box, there are a couple of what appears to be handwritten journals. There is a hoodie. There is a cell phone, and there are a couple other like accoutrements, just sort of small little knickknacks.
Are any of these things that she had on her when she died?
He looks through the box and he'll say phone and he'll pull out like a bracelet, like a little metal bracelet, kind of like one of those ones that's like sits and then it's got like a little bit of the gap there and it's like inscribed. And it says she never went anywhere without this. It was a gift from her mother.
I would like to start looking at the phone.
It is dead currently, so you'll have to charge it.
I will start to charge it.
You can get it very soon. You can start that process.
Meanwhile, I will sit down on the floor right near that kind of coffee. Wait, you said it was a coffee table or table?
It's like a dining room table.
Okay, then I will sit at the dining room table and I will take the bracelet from Gideon and see if I can see anything.
Yeah, and what is your role for that?
It is perception or perception and notice. And
perception, perception plus notice. Give me that and your little fun little psychometry and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that is only an 11, so it's only decent. Level 2. Level 2 for psychometry is impressions go back a week or less. If the visions are frightening, time for a fear test. This level reveals a few vague hints about the potential uses or powers of supernatural items, which I'm assuming this isn't a supernatural item, but...
Yeah, but... you get... It's more of feelings from that night. You get this initial rush of excitement, adrenaline from when you're guessing she was at this concert, and that sort of turns into this sort of sluggish, confused feeling, which turns into fear, which only seems to deepen before it hits like a fever pitch, and then it stops. Let's make a fear test just for fun, because you feeling these emotions very strongly, and how does this affect you?
So what is a fear test? Is it like you roll plus willpower or
I believe it is a willpower. Cameron, show me the thing.
I also since I'm an artistic and emotional soul, I have -1 to willpower rolls that for against fear.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be that -1.
Cool.
Whoops.
Okay. I rolled a 1.
Mm-hmm.
My willpower is 4, but that's a failure. That's
That is a failure. So I'm going to need you to. That is a failure. You will fall on the panic table. We need you to roll a d10 once again. Sort of see how you can keep 2. So on the panic table, a 2 or less is total terror. You are not in control of your actions. You may pass out or suffer some oh so embarrassing fate. So I mean, I imagine that this spike of fear, adrenaline, all of that just hits you really hard.
Ooh, so full on panic attack. November is hyper. I'm you guys look over and you see like I'm hyperventilating and shaking, and I think just like full like I need to get out of here. I can't let anyone see me right now. I need to I'm gonna like just kind of maybe I'm even gonna just get up and run and lock myself in the bathroom.
And I just look at Jen and I'm like,
What?
You were just making out. Go do something.
I'm gonna hop off the counter, and I will head over to the bathroom and just knock on the door. Like, is the door locked? It's locked. Okay. Can it not be? What can I roll to just like pick the bathroom door?
That would be a dex crime.
Oof, well, unfortunately,
Or
no
if
crime,
you just want to,
but
we'll do a dex. I mean, it's a bathroom door. It's not going to
I know it's not gonna be. Yeah, okay. Let's see. So that is 14. So just that's dex and crime and d10. So that is good. 3 success levels.
Right, 3 success levels. Yeah, no, for some reason, you've had to get into this bathroom before, or out of this bathroom while the door is locked. Who knows why? And yeah, you know exactly what to do. You know, all you need is a hairpin, and you just need to hit that little button on the inside, and
Oh, so then, knowing that I need a hairpin, as I jump off the counter, I'm gonna walk by Ari, and she's always got one hiding in her hair, so I'm just gonna reach in and I'm just gonna like pull it out of her head on my way to the bathroom. And then I'll just I needed it. You want me to do something? I'm doing something.
Just go.
And I go and I pick the lock and I open the door and I'm going to slide into the bathroom and then shut the door because November probably does not want to have this conversation in front of everybody because emotions. And I'm gonna like cross my legs like
edge of the tub, just like, you know, head in hands.
Okay. I'm gonna cross my ankles and then just like sit like in that crisscross position, like right in front of you. And then I'm just gonna kind of like look at you and be like, hey, what's going on?
I think you've seen me this scared and overwhelmed before. When, like, around the time when I first started getting visions, it would just, like, completely, like, come over me without any, without really me having control over it. And it's I'm having kind of difficulty articulating what I'm feeling, and I have difficulty articulating how I feel in those moments. So you just kind of like will be seeing me like, she was really afraid. I know that she was afraid.
I'm gonna reach over, like seeing like the struggle. I'm gonna reach over and I grab your hands, just kind of like take both of them, and then I'm gonna like kind of like rearrange my position so that like I'm forcing you to look at me, and then I just kind of like, okay, we're gonna breathe, ready? And this is for anybody else, like I said that I was closing the door because I didn't want anybody to like hear November have this conversation, but it's also because like November is the only person that I can do this with, so it's very weird, it's very awkward and unsettling for me to like let anybody else know that I have this side of me, because November's the only one who's ever seen it, because they're the only one that I can be like sweet and soft and gentle with in any way, shape, or form, and it's very strange. So I just say, okay, come on, we're gonna take a breath, ready? And we're gonna breathe in, 1, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3, ready? One more, ready? In, 2, 3, hold it, and then out, 2, 3. You okay? Do you need more?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
That wasn't helpful. Sorry.
I mean, well, I mean, I guess it's good to know that they didn't just get her in her sleep, right?
Yeah.
Trying to lighten the mood. I don't think it's working, but
No, she it's super fun to know that she suffered.
yeah, I bet. Did you happen to get anything that you think is useful?
No.
Okay. Well, you know what? Paolo isn't quite as much of an empath as you are, so maybe they'll be able to get something out of it, you know? They'll have some read on it.
Yeah.
God,
oh gosh, this is not a good first impression for the beginning.
I don't think I don't think
Right
you thought
after-
anything of it.
Yeah, well, sure, right after Catriona says I'm all gifted, whatever, just make a complete fool of myself.
No. Oh, please. No, you're fine. And you are gifted. It just, it doesn't always mean that gifts don't exist without complications, right?
Yeah, a lot of complications, but you know that by now.
Yeah, well. And I'll stand up and I'll just like hold out my hand and go to reach for the door at the same time. Come on.
I'll take it. And follow
No.
you.
open the door and I'll walk out holding November's hand, and I'm gonna like look at Ari and then look at Paolo and then just kind of like squint a little bit, like don't say a word right now, not the time, don't fucking do it. Yeah, I see you see me. I see you see me. Yeah,
I've been making tea.
Mm-hmm.
Just so we know, I've been making tea.
Uh-huh.
I've been at my computer also charging this phone.
Mm-hmm.
We make no signs of being awkward at all.
Look, I know when is a good time to start wiggling my eyebrows and when's a good time to shut up and make tea.
Smart. But I will, as we walk out, and I will ask Paolo, hey, Paolo, can you get anything off of the bracelet? There's a lot of emotions attached to it, so November can't get a clear read.
Yeah, I could check it out. I'm just waiting for the phone to charge anyways. I grabbed the bracelet. I'm like, oh, yeah, lots of energy here. Can I make can I make a perception? I want to look at this thing, and because it's going to be worn, right? This is something that's been worn every day. Can I look at it to see if there's any maybe newer scratches, and see like if I could figure out like, okay, there's scratches on here. Maybe there was a fight. Maybe there was something slightly out of place. Maybe a drop of some weird like substance, a weird drug, perhaps.
Give me a. We'll do a perception roll.
Is a perception notice?
Yep, perception notice.
Beautiful. That's plus 10. And that's a 19 total.
Oh.
A 19. And that is how many levels
Excellent.
up again?
That is 5 levels.
5 levels. So you do notice that the screen is sort of, it's not completely cracked, but it's got like one of the corners is cracked, like it was dropped on the corner. This is 2015, but yeah, the phone.
Oh, this is where the bracelet.
This is the bracelet. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I know I'm stretching, and that's going to be on purpose. So,
so for the bracelet itself, you kind of notice the way that the words on it are. It looks like she probably like rubbed them quite a bit, like kind of rubbed the bracelet as like a just sort of a habit thing, and so like the words are kind of rubbed down a little bit, and but in sort of like the outline of some of the words, it does look like there is some dried blood. It's that sort of dark brown coppery look thing. So you're relatively sure that there might be some blood on the bracelet. And the bracelet itself does seem to bear some marks of, you're not sure if they're new or old, but if it is a thing that she wore quite often, it has like defensive marks on it. It looks like, it got damaged while she was she was defending herself because her wrist, like you block things.
What it looks like for everyone else is that I am holding this metal bracelet and kind of passing my thumbs along it, feeling like every nook, every scratch, every dent. And I notice, just like by looking at the blood as well, and feel like those grooves and a lot of the emotions here are mostly of care. This is something that was on them for a very long time. So what I'm seeing is mostly the amount of love that this bracelet gave them. You could tell that this gave them great comfort. There's also, if this was very loved like it was, there's like dents and scratches. Clearly they went down in a fight. And there is a little bit of dried blood on here, but I don't know if this is hers or whoever they were fighting. There's a way we could look at like maybe forensics or something.
So she went down with a fight, which means they didn't have the opportunity to jump her. And that in itself is information. It means we're not looking for someone sneaking up in our sleep. We're looking for someone on the street, walking around. Unless there's really bad at, sneaking on people in their sleep. This doesn't seem like,
I'm hoping when I get that phone active, I could pull up all like the location data, pull up the camera, because we could see through it. See if there's anything I can get.
Can I have a little look and a little sniff at the dried blood that we see, just to see if it smells or looks like normal blood, or if it seems to be creepy blood?
Yeah, you have monster smell? Weird. I mean, cool, but weird.
It's more of just a general, is the blood drying shinier than it should be, or does it smell like blackberries? I don't know. The fruit, not the phones.
Yeah.
The phones don't smell good.
If you want to attempt that, give me an intelligence doctor roll.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh, and there it goes. Hang on. That roll way off the table. Ha ha ha! 5.
It looks like blood.
I just give it a sniff. And I'm like, yep, that's blood, all right.
Great sense of smell.
Okay, you smell the ring, Jen, or the bracelet.
I don't want to smell it.
Good, it smells awful.
Yeah, I imagine. Oh my god, imagine that. A bracelet that somebody wore forever that is probably coated in blood smells awful. Who could have guessed that? I don't think you need Paolo or November to see that. That was probably always going to be the case.
Well, I will use one of Catriana's forks, I guess, or one of her knives to just scrape out a few flakes of blood onto a paper towel. Just in case.
Gotcha. Don't you have tubes or something for specimens?
Oh yeah, an entire science lab right in her apartment.
Well, I mean, you use for rituals. Better than a paper towel.
I don't think I have. What is the science term for what I'm looking for?
Test tubes, centrifuge.
Test tubes. Just I don't currently have any test tubes in my condo.
Okay, I don't do that many rituals. I was just assuming. All right, put it in a glass or something. You don't want it to get seeped into the paper.
It's dry.
Yeah, but if it gets a little wet, it's bad.
Yeah, okay. I will put it in a shot glass.
Oh.
Does Catriona have shot glasses?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, given the fact that she has us for slayers.
Yeah, that's fair. While Ari's doing that, I will remember that I still have the coroner's report that Desmond gave us. And, I will say, Desmond dropped this off earlier. It's about one of the folks who wound up dead. And I'll just kind of hand that over to Catriona.
Did Desmond leave, or is he still awkwardly chilling with us?
No, he left. I told him he couldn't come to the apartment.
Even though he's been here before.
Yeah, but with Gideon coming over, didn't want to have to do that.
It would have been a little,
role,
yeah.
So, yeah, just...
Yeah, so, Catriona will take this over and and start looking at it and look through it. And before she says anything else, she'll hold the paper over to Gideon. I don't know why I forgot his name for a second. And say, this. Please tell me that this isn't what I think it is. And Gideon will take a look at it and goes, Cat, I think it might be what you think it is. And Catriona will swear in French.
I don't speak French. What is going on?
So, quite often, the older Watchers Council, when a Slayer would turn 18, would give her a drug that would suppress her abilities for a period of time and then make her fight a vampire. Whatever this is in her system seems to be doing the similar thing.
So, okay.
I'm sorry, what?
I know I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but it sounds like that you might be suggesting that the Watchers Council is somehow involved.
It's either someone is or someone who knows of their practices. And yet again, it's or a witch or someone.
Who outside of the Watchers Council would know how to make something like this?
Yeah, they'll sort of share a look and just saying, I believe the Watchers Council would pay witches to make this specific thing, and I do think they did eventually move to just pharmaceutical companies because it is, an extract of a bunch of different herbs that would suppress the adrenal gland.
Does the name Alice McClay mean anything to either of you?
Catriona will think and shake her head, and Gideon will think and say, the McClays are a very powerful family of witches. I haven't met one before, but they're known.
Okay, so hypothetically, if a McClay, a member of the McClay family, was here in Marlin Bay like 10 days ago,
a week or so ago, yeah,
buying things from the local witch shop, would that be bad? Assuming that we also had information that may have placed her at a point in time with one of the other folks who got murdered.
Specifically, your Slayer. She was at the concert that Natalie went to.
Well, that's certainly not good. It would be out of character for one of them, but honestly, who knows what happened in the last bunch of years with them.
They have also been traveling across the U.S. Also, it was in similar locations to other previous killings, right?
Yeah, never exactly the same place, but definitely in the state around the same time.
They've also been traveling throughout the U.S., stopping in the same state as when the other killings happened.
Yeah, it may be less hypothetical than I had led on.
No,
But
it was very.
We have
Yeah.
card statements, yeah. And I will pull out my phone, where of course the profile is probably still somewhere in my searched history.
Yeah.
And I will hand the phone with the beach photo to Gideon for inspection. Is there any reason that the McClays may have had access to knowledge, like how to deslayer a slayer temporarily?
Well, if I remember my Slayer history properly, there was a while where one of the McClays was not involved, but was involved with an associate of Buffy Summers.
And that's
Right.
Buffy's a slayer?
Yes, Buffy is a little bit infamous of a Slayer. She'd like to do things on her own, and famously told the Watchers Council multiple times to fuck off.
Love it.
Yeah.
So here's
Look,
my question. Putting aside for just a moment the fact that we have anti-Slayer juice running around in the hands of witches who may or may not want to kill Jen and I, is there... You know how in TV shows someone's heart stops or something and they give them a big old shot of adrenaline? Is there something that Jen and I can carry around? Some sort of adrenaline shot that we can have as a fail-safe, as a safety measure in case we get wrapped up in this. We are excellent, we are good at being aware of our surroundings, but things happen.
Oh,
Is
you
there-
want to Pulp
is there a
Fiction
preventative
ourselves?
Would an EpiPen just work?
That's epinephrine, not adrenaline, though. Does that work?
It kickstarts the heart.
Well, right, but it's not... But Gideon mentioned it was an adrenal gland thing, right?
yeah, specifically the drugs would suppress the adrenal gland.
Which I imagine from the name is what is responsible for adrenaline production.
I don't think if something or someone, this group is going to be trying to, slow down your... Why? I don't think a shot of adrenaline is going to help if they're also trying to kill you and eat your heart.
No, but it may give us the extra edge we need to get away for a moment. Like if we are able to get enough space to give ourselves the stabbies.
How long does this last?
How long does it take to get into?
Being to get, catch her to think, Sam just goes, usually it's only good for a day or so.
Okay,
And
so let's try it.
the drug.
Yeah. I don't care. Like, I mean, if we, like, Ari's got a decent idea, and we have no idea if it'll work, but I'd rather test it beforehand, so if we can get some of
controlled
it...
environment.
Exactly. We know that they're not going to try and kill us until the ritual night anyway. It gives us a little bit of time. We can try it. It'll be a day.
And we
Want to
know...
purposefully drug yourself, weaken yourself?
I think just one of us, maybe.
Just one of us, yeah. The other one will be fine.
It's a stupid yet incredibly brilliant idea.
I have
Yeah,
those
sure.
we
sometimes.
specialize in.
No, you do. You have many brilliant ideas. This is just like, this is more leaning on the other one because it's like, ooh, dangerous. I don't have the superpower, so it doesn't matter.
Strength in numbers,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is there,
Yeah.
Catriona, is there like any spells to help adverse that? That we could like maybe work on in the time?
I imagine that there is. I'd have to look through my books. They'd probably be more of like cleansing spells to remove negative effects.
Detoxify.
Yeah. A weird
They got you
supernatural
a lot of
juice cleanse.
Yeah.
Still
Um,
not a big fan of this.
It's honestly not the worst idea that I've ever heard Jen put out.
Ah, high five me.
It will take me a few days to get my hands on the stuff. It's not exactly easy to make, but I know some people and I can pull some strings and I can get us some of this stuff. And then we
I
can
could also
figure
get
out.
us, like, adrenaline shots.
Shouldn't we be
Yes.
putting our energy into trying to find this family and stopping them before, like...
I mean, it's
I
a couple
feel like
days.
you're
We'll have
thinking
time.
about worst case scenario, making sure you're planning for worst case scenario when there are preventative measures we can try to take so that worst case scenario never happens.
Right. But real quick question, how far away is the full moon?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
Yeah.
So okay, we have 2 weeks. They will likely not make an attempt before I'm imagining at the earliest a couple of nights before, maybe, if not the day of.
Mm.
We have time. We have time to try this in a controlled environment. And who knows, maybe as we are doing this, we will find more information. We will gather more context.
Catriona says, if a witch wants to hide, it's short of other witches, it's nearly impossible to find them. We don't know who else might be involved with the family.
I told you I would have been more useful as a witch than the Slayer, but here we are.
Sadly,
Also,
none of us control that.
If you don't plan for the worst case comes. You didn't plan for it.
Mm-hmm. And this at least lets us know if, like, say, an adrenaline shot would at least let you temporarily overcome the effects of this drug. I don't think it's going to negate it completely, but it may.
I would rather be
temporarily...
able to get away and at the very least, day of the full moon, if we are all still in one piece, Jen and I hole up with all of you. And we will wait it out. We will barricade ourselves in somewhere. We will wait it out. We will make it work. We have the advantage of knowing that they're coming, knowing when they're coming, probably, or at the very least when they are going to be enacting this ritual. We have the gift of foresight a little bit, and plus with Paolo, we've got a little bit of the supernatural psychic crap on our side.
In November.
Is the plan not to try to take them out?
Oh, it absolutely
yes,
is.
But we need to find
But we
them
do have
first.
to make sure that we have to find them first, and we do have to make sure that if something does happen, we don't go down. Or at least we have the resources to get out and get help.
I mean, it's like we're seeing the future of what could happen and we're changing it.
Have I ever been able to force a vision of the future to come to me, or does it always just, happen?
The question I'm going to throw back at you: have you ever tried?
That's good point. I feel like probably I've been too scared to. But
It's very fair.
it's also really scary right now. And I think I might just give it a go.
Yeah.
Because
what's your
they're
role for
saying-
that again?
Oh, I don't actually know. Let's see, because the psychic visions, it says, most of the time the visions are not very clear, nor do they happen very often, and they cannot be activated on purpose, they just happen, no rules are needed. But...
Well, I do really enjoy you attempting to make one happen as a thing, so I will ask for a roll, but this is you're gonna get something.
Okay.
But are you going to be able to make sense of what you see?
Cool. What stat should I roll, dear director?
Give me a willpower occultism roll. We're kind of going to use some modified spell casting rolls.
Okay. That's a 15. That's a level 4.
Level 4. Because this is the first time you're doing this. You're concentrating on this, thinking about that moment, and it's flashing. Time is flashing for just a moment. November, you feel, for a moment, you realize you are not in your own body in this second. You feel this pain, and you look down, and there's a knife sticking out of your gut. Your hands grasp at it weakly as you fall to your knees, and you watch the blood sort of spilling out over the floor that you're very well aware of is the floor of Catriona's condo. And as you look at your hands, these are not your hands. You recognize the manicured nails of Catriona. You see this. You see a person in boots. You see combat boots. You see tactical gear of some kind. And this person, you just hear a voice that says, "It'll be over soon, and the ritual will begin." It's not a voice you recognize. And you hear sort of the crackling of a radio, and you hear a feminine voice say, "Is it done?" And the man replies and says, "It's done. Watchers down. Slayers are in the open." And you flashback.
Oh boy. So, okay, what was the last thing that I guess Ari was talking and saying that, like, oh, we gotta prepare for the worst. And I think all of you saw, like, November's eyes just suddenly, like, kind of roll back and, like, saw me kind of, like, collapse and almost, like I fainted.
But does Jen catch him?
Ooh, you know what? I have fast reaction time. So.
And how far away are you standing from November?
Better question. How far away is Catriona? Because I handed the coroner's report to them, so I would be standing close to them.
Catriona, she's standing by she's currently in the kitchen, sort of like standing next to the stove where she has like the kettle on. So you would be in the kitchen, and November, are you also in the kitchen?
I was by the dining room table.
Well, just because I want to see how ridiculous this roll might be, give me a dexterity, I believe it's athletics.
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics, yes, we'll do that. I've played way too many systems recently.
21, that's an extraordinary.
Yeah. So yeah, you're near flash levels of movement.
Yeah, I would say so. It's very, very quick. I think what it is, right, is as soon as I clue into the fact that something is happening, it could have been anybody. It's not just a November thing, okay? Don't think it's just because it's November, guys. But yeah, I mean, as soon as I notice that something is wrong, I immediately like turn and just am right there.
And it's so you would catch me as I'm like
November, what did you see?
Do you have a vision?
You're Slayers. You're not the only one in trouble. Who's in trouble?
What happened?
Someone. I didn't recognize who they are. I didn't recognize their voice, but Catriona, you were stabbed. I was stabbed. You were. They would take out the Watcher before going for the Slayers.
They're smart.
I look at Gideon. Did anyone try to attack you?
I'm also going to look at Gideon. Really
And Gideon
closely.
Gideon says, I was currently, the night it happened, not home. But somebody did break into my apartment.
I'm gonna try to suss out what this guy's feeling right now.
Ooh, are you vibe checking him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to also
notice.
see if they're lying.
Mm-hmm. Give
I
me
was feeling it, but that's a YouTube problem now.
You have empathy, right?
I have empathy, so it means I can tell what someone is feeling when I roll perception and notice.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, give me that sweet perception notice roll from both of you.
Okay. That is a 15. That is a very good.
I got a 16. I think
15, 16, very good.
I can't necessarily tell if someone is lying, but I can tell if they are nervous, or scared.
Yeah, there's like,
Or smug, confident.
He's not smug, he's not confident. He definitely seems very worried for Catriona. He looks over at her, and there's a lot of worry and me thinking of how to phrase these specific emotions. And concern, worry, concern, and Gideon has stats I rolled for him, so sort of see what he's feeling, and especially because you're kind of catching him a little off guard with this. So you worry, concern, most of it seems to be directed towards Catriona. And especially kind of sizing you up specifically, sort of, didn't really know too much about any of the non-slayers here, so it's maybe slightly like kind of respect. Yes, maybe. You seem very capable, and he respects that.
Well, now we don't know if they're going to be going after you on the same day. Your vision was, it doesn't sound like you, I mean, I don't think if you were dying you would look at what time it is, so.
I mean, I think it makes sense for them to do things as quickly as possible because if the Slayers catch on that something is wrong with the Watchers, we go on high alert. I think this has to happen in quick succession for it to be effective.
Yeah. Well, not that I don't think you two are not capable, but we're gonna have to keep a closer eye on you two. Gideon, I don't know if it's safe if you go anywhere. Well, maybe. Unless they want to go after you still because your Slayer is dead.
Well,
It
the
is a
problem is
possibility.
anyone catches a British person running around in this town. If the wrong person catches it, they're going to know exactly what's up. Brits don't come to New Jersey; they just don't.
It's a tourist
It's
season.
a
They're
role.
here for the ice cream.
But it's with all the love in the world to both of you. The way that both of you dress and speak screams Watcher to anyone who knows what to look for.
And Gideon just sort of nods and says, "Yeah, unfortunately, they do kind of make us in a factory."
The same damn suits, the same. You even walk the same. It's very strange. Anyway, maybe it's an Oxford thing.
It's probably something to do with the British schooling system.
Yes, yes. But they're right. We should try and stick together as much as possible. This may be that's going to make school difficult.
I think you should at least probably, and Catriona says, I think you should at least probably be safe during school hours. As long as you're around large groups of students, you should be fine. I don't think they would want to tip their hand like that.
Right.
I have to be around other people for the foreseeable
Unfortunately,
future?
Jen. The other person could be November.
It's not a big group if it's just 2 people.
At least travel in the buddy system if you're going to be going anywhere. Buddy system. We can institute regular check-ins via text message or phone call.
Don't they have and I'll
apply to. Oh, I was just gonna say, buddy system should apply to you, Catriona, and in Gideon.
Yes,
that's a good point. Don't they have those like parental control things where you can like keep
Life
track of
360.
other people's phones? What?
Life 360.
Oh, that's no.
Or Find
That's
My.
worse.
Yeah. There's something that you can like see your like friends' locations or whatever. You can just like share that. So like maybe we should just share our locations with each other until this whole thing is over and done with.
I just want to say, as someone who uses this data very regularly to, like, get clients, these things are very hackable. I'd rather we just stick together in person.
Well, I mean, aside from that, as a secondary measure, obviously buddy system is going to happen no matter what, but just so different buddy groups can keep track of each other as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously we're not going to be running around in a massive group of 6 or 7 if Desmond's around, but...
Yeah?
He won't be.
Uh-huh. Sure. So, okay. By the way, during all this, I want to be doing 2 things. I want to be once the phone, I'm sure it's like charged enough to turn on. I want to kind of like jailbreak it and go through like all their camera stuff, location information, that kind of stuff. I also want to be looking at all the inns and hotels in our very small town are nearby and see if I could hack into their website to see if there's any recent reservations paid by cash.
Yeah, give me we'll just do one intelligence computers roll for these.
Cool.
Yeah.
These are my other character dice, and you're loving me right now. That's 15.
A 15. So yeah, you are able to get into the phone. It's, she didn't set an incredibly complex passcode. It's literally birth year. It's the second thing you tried. And so you can do that. You go through location data. There's lots of photos to go through. So the photos themselves are going to take a while. and you're also sort of looking, and so there isn't a like hotel or anything that's been recent, like or would align with like the 10 days ago. Um, there is no. Are you looking at things like B&Bs and things like that?
I would assume like if like I know there's not really like a hotel or an inn, I
Mm-hmm.
would go to like the next best thing would be like, Airbnb, that kind of stuff. Whatever people
Mm-hmm.
would use to rent out a place to see if there's anything suspicious. Because like if there
Mm-hmm.
was a charge to someplace, I would see it. At least if they're using this card, they may have multiple cards. But I
Mm-hmm.
would know what the places around here are like.
Yeah. So there is a it's about an hour or so north. There's a different beach town. Uh and there was a check-in same day that's still there. And it was paid by a very, very fancy card. It's kind of like the kind of codes that are reserved for like government.
Like a platinum member. Oh, a
Mm,
government.
With the metal cards.
mhm.
Um, uh, so I think right after like this information comes up, right as we were like talking about this buddy system, is like, um, by the way, I was like typing away. I was looking through the nearby, like, rental services if someone's staying here, and there's one really interesting one about an hour out. This is like a high security fancy card for like a government entity or something.
Oh,
Um,
the
which
the person in my vision had like combat boots, like or like looked like maybe like a military uniform. I don't know if
Kind of
uniform,
like those units that weren't supposed to exist and no one was supposed to know about.
what kind of shit are we in? I thought this was just something just for us, but now we're dealing with. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, it's something to look into. Not closely, I assume, but close enough.
is
That's
Possibly
good
go wrong.
information, I think. Yeah. Ooh, scary.
I thought we were dealing with a magical witchy cult, but now it might be the government.
Is there a
Or
hit
both.
job on Slayers?
Well, does the government know about Slayers?
They have to.
There was
Jen knows they
Gideon.
do. Ari doesn't.
Yeah. Gideon will speak up and is saying, I believe there was a group called the Initiative for a while.
Sounds ominous.
Very. I don't know too much. I just happened to get my hands on some journals from a watcher who had encountered them. A Slayer had encountered them, so.
And they were a government entity?
A government entity set up to hunt monsters.
So they were encroaching on Slayer. I wonder if they're getting territorial.
It is certainly a possibility.
Because that sounds like something that a Slayer they might encroach on each other's,
So,
But
if our
this
witch is working with this government agency,
maybe. I mean,
or rogue watchers.
What was that? What did he that puppet that the corpse puppet that we saw on the first day, who we were warned about, the family and
The
father?
family, yes.
Was that it?
Father, yeah.
The Ohio man.
Mr. Ohio.
Mr.
Gideon,
Ohio.
you don't know anything about this, right?
The family, father, Ohio.
It's family and father are such generic terms.
Yes, I imagine.
Yeah.
They were
But
like
And I've
in the-
certainly never been to
You're
Ohio.
lovers.
You're not missing much. Is there... Yeah, I imagine family and father and various familial terms would be fairly popular for cults. That's how they get you.
Mhm. I can certainly see if I know any contacts that know anything about the initiative. Maybe could be ex-members.
Right. How do you become an ex-member of something like that?
Not on good terms.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's a long list of folks who aren't a part of that anymore. In my experience, and I say experience, but of course it's mostly just watching weird documentaries on like Netflix and HBO. Yeah, cults don't really like it when you leave.
Right.
They do a lot to make sure that you don't, without them being able to like destroy your life in some way.
Right.
So,
And if for some reason they kick you out, they usually do something creepy like wipe your mind.
yeah.
Well, I certainly think looking into this witch is probably one of our next things to do.
Right.
If we can find out anything about this ritual.
Well, does that... Is this the part where you both say it's time to hit the books?
No, you just did that for me.
Time to hit the books. And I look at both of them for approval. I'm just like,
Ari, your phone vibrates.
whoop. And I pick up my phone.
It is a text message. Just indulge me, my sheer curiosity. If Desmond was in your phone, is it his full name? Is it Des? Is it D? Is it a nickname?
I am definitely the type to just put like just full name.
Just Desmond. Okay.
Yep.
Is there a photo as well?
There is. It is at some point, and like anyone who has seen my phone like in the past, couple of years would know that it has gone from a photo of the two of us to a photo of him, a rather unflattering photo of him. But yeah, it is just Desmond.
Yeah, there's a text message from him, and it just says, "We should probably talk at some point."
And everyone just watches me just make exactly that face, just at my phone. And then I think I leave the poor man on red.
Yeah.
It's like, there's too much information coming at me right now. Luckily, I am a smart woman and do not have read receipts on. So he will not know that I have read it. He will just know that I have not responded yet. So maybe I haven't seen it yet. Maybe. He knows I'm a busy woman.
Yeah, there's certainly quite a bit going on, isn't there?
And yeah, I put my phone back. And maybe like 10 seconds pass. And then I take it back out. And I just text him tomorrow night. Diner?
He will, yeah, it'll take like 30 seconds or so. You'll get a reply and says,
the typing bubble.
I'll be there. Yeah.
And I give him a thumbs up emoji and just quietly slide my phone back into my pocket and rejoin the conversation as if I've been paying attention the entire time and not been super distracted by this strange out of the blue text.
If we're hitting the books, I definitely would like to try to use that autopsy report to help pinpoint if there's like, I had that like dream about the first ritual, like the ritual, I guess the most recent ritual rather than the first or second ritual, but had that dream and seeing if I can connect some of that information in any like places that we started to get with that using what the autopsy report to kind of fill in gaps and see if there's like we can better pinpoint what the ritual was for.
Okay. I will say that Katrina has quite a few books. Magic is one of the ones that she's a little lacking in. So it will be a very difficult roll at a -4.
Okay. Is
If you
anyone
want
else
to try.
good at occult? What would this be? Occultism?
Intelligence
roll?
occult, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm decent at it. I might have something in my Amazon Kindle library.
I am definitely dumb when it comes to the magic side of things, so
I have some as well.
I can certainly check what I have.
Okay.
Is there anything I could think of with my photographic memory?
Probably not.
That's fair.
So
I don't imagine you've gotten your hands on many witches' grimoires.
I mean, not without trying.
if it's occultism plus intelligence minus that 4, it comes to a 12, so a decent.
A decent success. You don't find it itself, but you come across references to rituals, specifically about absorbing power. Lots of talk about how the heart is sort of like considered by many groups to be considered like a powerful organ, like where like power, soul, whatever is, and some places believe, some cultures, some mythologies, there's a lot of heart eating, and sort of involving the eating of the heart is involving transfer of power from one person to another. Don't find the exact ritual, but you find a lot of references to it.
We're looking for someone who's hungry.
Power hungry.
I was gonna say I'm hungry. Maybe if we just hang a sign on my window that just says "Fresh Hearts Here," it'll work.
No.
Slayer Hearts, just $1.99.
No.
Gotta know how to
But
kill
that's
it, though. Or take them
I
down.
mean, Halloween is next month, so, you're just,
Oh, we'll get a break for one night, thank fuck. Just one night, we get a break. What could possibly go wrong?
Everything.
We can at the very least start by testing this adrenaline crap.
Let me wait till I could get to my guy to actually get the adrenaline shots as well.
As
It'll take like a day or two.
as I said, it'll take a couple days for me to get this
ingredients.
drug anyways. Yeah. It's not exactly common.
Right.
We found out.
Right.
Yeah. Have the photos begun to load up yet, or is this going to take like maybe a couple hours?
It's probably going to take a couple hours. You can kind of
Okay.
like start going through because like this Natalie appeared to have this phone for like 4 years or something. So
goodness.
there's like 4 years worth of photos on here.
I am going to choose not until we get the most recent photos because I have no use and I don't want to snoop on this person's stuff because they're not a client and I gain nothing from it.
It's fair. They're very dead.
They're very dead. So I'll hang that on the side and just. Do we want to read here? Do we want to order takeout? Do you want to go somewhere?
Ooh, takeout. Yes, please. Chinese?
Everyone want their usual?
Please.
Do I have to
sounds
be
good,
here?
Yes.
You know I'm
Yeah.
no good at this stuff.
Yes,
Moral
but
support.
you are moral support, and also I would really rather not have you running around alone. If you want, you can always put on the CW over in the corner there. Find a good CW show.
Jen, I do believe that you should still probably patrol, but take someone with you. Doesn't have to be anyone here. You can at least don't patrol alone.
Take Desmond.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, Desmond probably has nothing going on the next couple days.
Yeah, I'll shoot him a text and just see what he's up to, because he was gonna just go brood in a cemetery right now, so I can't imagine
He may
he's,
as well be useful brooding in a cemetery.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So I'll send him a quick text.
Yeah, he'll happily agree to meet you somewhere for patrolling. He's bored.
I assumed. So
Poor
yeah,
guy.
so I'll grab my stuff and just tell everybody to keep me posted and head on out.
Before you leave, I'll just go, can I come by tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, just text me when you guys are done over here.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think once Jen is out the door, I will pull my phone out again and just text Desmond, don't get either of you dead.
And you'll get a text message back saying, "Don't plan on it. Gotta meet you tomorrow night."
Jesus. Jesus. There is just a look of November Impala. You'll definitely see just this ever so slight, and then just me putting my phone back into my pocket.
You got a note about your student loans or something?
Yep, they're overdue.
Now you're lying.
You asked about my student loans.
I'm gonna shoot a look in November, just like, okay.
Secrets.
Secret,
I'm also
secret,
not paying
secret.
student loans since I am actively in school, and they won't kick in until anyway.
See, I told you were lying.
Well, it was a shit post.
Not good at it, my friend.
Maybe I'll take
Yeah,
you off
well.
the PayPal.
I'm not even on it.
Well, Jen, you meet Desmond. Meet up with Desmond, and you certainly during this night off screen, you certainly encounter some killer plants. We're gonna say killer plants. You have at least there's always something weird going on, and tonight it's killer plants. You and Desmond get to at least get your energy out on something.
Well, thank
Did
God
you-
I have a lot of energy right now for some weird reason.
Would we have activated our Find My Friends software before you left?
there's certainly a time. I don't know if Jen, would you have allowed them to activate that on your phone?
I mean, I was the one who suggested it, so
It's fair.
probably. It'd be weird if I was like, yeah, all of you, like, I want to know where you all are, but you're not allowed to see where I am. Yeah, no, I probably would have. Just, yeah.
This group Life 360 thing.
Yeah. Well, you do that, and then we'll end tonight's session with Jen knocking on November's door back on campus.
Well, wouldn't it be November knocking on Jen's door?
Yeah, I think November
That's
would
true.
go because I mean that's
someone's knocking on someone's door.
Yeah.
Someone's knocking on something.
Oh my god.
I think I would go to November's place. Or no, I'm November.
Yep. We're so flustered. We're so flustered.
No, it's
right now.
actually I think sometime in September right now.
Yeah. Yep.
I would go to Jen's place and just be like, I always sleep better when I'm able to share the night with you.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something kind of comforting about having you close, even when you have your nightmares, you know. And I'll like, as you know, we're having this conversation with my door just like slightly ajar. I'm just like picking like little, you know, like thorns and stuff from my arms because the plants, you know, they're not very big. They're just kind of more a nuisance than anything else. But I'm just kind of like picking at them, and I'll let November in and close the door.
I will gently put my hand on the arm where you have these thorns that you're picking out and just kind of brush it slightly in.
The flesh wound, you know. Desmond got it worse, actually. He got like a whole slew of them just right in his right butt cheek. It was really funny.
Oh, gosh.
It was really funny. But you know, a few on my arm it's nothing.
I don't like seeing you get hurt.
Nah. It's, you know, part of being a slayer, right? I'm not dead yet, so it's not a problem.
I'll make sure that doesn't happen.
I appreciate that. I'd like to not be dead. So, yeah. I have that blanket that you like in the closet if you wanna grab it.
Yeah.
I couldn't bring myself to get rid of it, but you know, I didn't want to see it, so.
Yeah, and as November grabs the blanket from the closet as the door shuts, we get a quick look at what everyone else is doing. Paolo, how are you closing out this night?
I think the night closing, I have finally uploaded the pictures to the most recent. And so I'm going to be, not only looking at the pictures, but scrubbing through the metadata, while also eating some spicy cashew chicken with some chopsticks.
I still at Catriona's condo.
Yeah. I mean, I don't need that much sleep, as we've determined.
Yeah. It's college students. Sleep. Sleep is a recommendation. It's a suggestion.
Not a good one either.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you're doing this, it's the last photo in her camera roll. It's blurry. But sort of taking a look at it and trying to clean it up as much as you can, you're staring at a very large, very hairy creature. And we'll cut to Ari.
Oh, I've got some concerns. So I think this is a little bit of it's one of those double pane shots where I've got my phone out and I seem to be debating. And there is a quiet little ping as I hit the add to family button or invite to family button on this Life 360. And in the other pane, we see Desmond's phone ping with a notification that he has been invited to join a Life 360 family.
A little confused, but yeah, he'll after a second join
and see all these fucking dots. Yeah. And we found the family. And I take a moment to just check to make sure that he is safe at home, whether or not his butt cheeks are intact. I just take a moment to make sure that he is exactly. I take a moment to make sure that he is safe at home, and I plug my phone in and I climb under the covers and go to sleep.
Yeah. That Desmond has
where does he live anyway?
He owns a house, technically.
Is it a shack?
It's not a shack. It is like it is a house in town that he bought before he died.
Well, that's sad. At least I can still use it though. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Not many people continue to use a house after they've died, so little perks.
Yeah. And look, no one ever reported him dead.
Exactly, because he's still walking around.
Yeah.
How old is he anyway?
He was turned to the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, he's perpetually like 26.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and we see that. Yeah, you see that as the camera zooms out. We get one last shot of Gideon and Catriona over the dining room table, just pouring through all of these books, making notes, brewing cup after cup of tea. They don't look like they're going to be sleeping much either, as we fade out on the end of another day, and there are 13 days remaining until the full moon. Well, that is the end of this session. We'll toss it over to my players to let them tell you who they are and where you can find them on the internet. And we'll start with you, Saffron.
Hello, yes, I am Saffron. I feel like I say hello in a weird way every single time, but that's me. You can find me at Gaubhefta, Gaubhefta, on like all of the social media platforms, and I'm also part of Midnight Ceremonies Media. I've done some actual play shows with them, and our shows are also part of the Rainbow Roll Network, so I'll shout out Rainbow Roll Network. And that's it for now.
Yeah. And then next is Dusty.
Hello, hi, I'm Dusty. You could find me on all of the interwebs, mostly at Dust E Hill. That's the letter E, no Y. You can also find me on so many things. Mostly with Aubrey. You can find me at Goblins and Gays, and where I'm cast and co-producer. I'm in the Blood of Kings campaign and our new Tyrant of the Dark Star. I'm playing two very different characters. One, no, just listen. It's good. It's great. Also, on Bring Your Own Mech, where I play like the worst person you could imagine, and they're also mercenary with a giant mech. That's also great. Just go
The worst person you can imagine has a giant mech.
Exactly. Its butt also has a giant mech, so there's like one redeeming quality, and is that they serve. And then you can find me running and co-producing in Wavering Force, which is a Star Wars podcast using Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Very fun, very gay, very tragic. So many things I do. Also, finally check out my itch. Also at Dusty Hill, itch.io. I have silly games, I have fun games. Again, probably more recent than not. If you like cooking competitions and hate Bobby Flay, go check that out. And if you don't hate Bobby Flay, talk to someone who does hate Bobby Flay, and then you'll understand.
And then next we have Jen.
Oh heck, that's me. Hello friends, I am Jen. I can be found on pretty much all social media that I am on as Jenberb. Things I do include but are not limited to actual play performance, production, logistics, overseeing, record keeping, etc., etc., etc. Other places you can find me include helping to run things over at Girls Run These Worlds, which is a TTRPG actual play channel dedicated to uplifting the voices of women and femmes while also placing a priority on diversity and intersectionality. That is a one heck of a mouthful. The other main place you can find me is over on the Lore Mistresses channel, playing my local friendly half-elven wizard. I normally don't play full casters, and yet here we are. So go check us out in the lovely, lovely world of Theros, and that is me.
And then lastly we have V.
Hi, that's me. You can find me on the internet at V is for Vampire, because my name is V, and I like vampires. You can also find me over here at Queen's Court Games doing all manner of things, art and performances, and I'm the voice of Ivy LaRue, the most award-winningest Vampire the Masquerade podcast out there right now, which is pretty cool. It's pretty great. Aubrey does the music and makes everything sound amazing, so if you haven't heard it yet, what are you doing? Go watch it right now. There's a whole playlist. There's 2 whole seasons. You can just go. I'm not gonna stop you. Nobody here is gonna stop you from going and watching, I promise. But you can also find me on Role-Playing Public Radio. I've had some appearances over on Red Moon Role-Playing. I'm over on Cybernation Uncensored. I'm just kind of doing a whole bunch of things. So if you want to keep track of all of that, definitely give me a follow at V is for Vampire over on Twitter and Blue Sky. But of course, this game would be nothing but gay without our wonderful, wonderful director for the evening, Miss Aubrey Knotts. If people want to see you and see more of the things that you do and find more reasons to love being gay and watch your gay disasters, where can they do that?
Well, you can find me everywhere on the internet at Mad Queen Cosplay or the Mad Queen, depending on the website. Usually one of those two will pop me. You'll find my face. And I can usually be found as the co-producer over on Goblins and Gays, where I am generally the one who herds all of the cats, even though that's changing in the future. I run Tyrant of the Dark Star, our Bloodborne-inspired Pathfinder 2E, and I am the storyteller for Last of Eden's Vices, a Vampire the Masquerade thing where you may see many people. There's a lot of people involved in that show. And lots of familiar voices, lots of familiar faces. And you can also catch me over on Hallowed Haven Studios for Season 2 of City of Smoke coming this fall. I don't know the exact start date. I think it's October. Where if you want to see me play very messy gays who make bad choices. Make so many of them. Yeah, other than that, as Dusty said, I play a Sawyer over on Bring Your Own Mech. I just the messiest sword lesbian. My cat is staring at me right now, so that's it's like. But yeah, that's about everything else. Anything else I do, you'll find links on my Twitch or no, links on Twitter and everything to all of the projects as they come up.
Fantastic, wonderful. Now, with everybody having said their piece and pimped their shit, I think it's time for us to skedaddle on over to our wonderful bonus patron content. If you would like to hear our thoughts and opinions of today's episode, definitely go check us out over on Patreon. It'll be live right now. You can go from that video straight into the next one and listen to us recap everything. There's also something funny that's happening in chat right now that I will definitely bring up in the patron only content. I'm so sorry. I know it's killing you not to know what that funny thing is, but you know, I mean, $5 is the buy-in, and then you can find out. So definitely go check us out, patreon.com/queenscourtgames. Thank you, of course, to all of our amazing patrons, our Duke tier patrons, Callie, Ben, Mark, and of course our Ben tier patron, Ben. We love and appreciate all of you. Yes, our Ben tier patron. We'll talk about it over in the, yeah. But yes, so much love to all of you guys. We wouldn't be able to do all of this without you. You're fantastic. You're wonderful. And until next time, bye for now.